Hello and welcome to my Week 11 college football review. A lot of crazy shit this week. And first, before I start, I'd like to say thanks for supporting me, helping my channel out. Got a whole whopping 7 subscribers from like my past 3 videos. It's pretty cool. So I just wanted to say thanks. And if you like college football or NFL stuff, you should subscribe and like the video because, I do this stuff. I'll be doing this stuff a lot. So our first game is Colorado at USC. I was almost on the dime about this. How we'll do this is I'll do my prediction first, and then I'll do the actual score. So this was my prediction, 10-52. Well, if you know the final score, that was pretty damn close. I was almost on the dime. But it's not that difficult to be on the dime in this sense because we knew Colorado was going to get killed. Now, if I told you that the score at the end of the first half was 3-2, you'd be like, what the hell? And you're probably like, what the hell? Because that's a wacky score. Colorado could have, if they didn't suck, they could have taken USC out because, they had a slight 1-point advantage in the first quarter, but then USC dropped 24 points in the second quarter and showed us how dog shit Colorado is. Nothing much to be said here other than the fact that Colorado is terrible. Purdue at Illinois. So I gave Illinois the upper hand on this one, although I did think there was some upset potential. Purdue has been a little on and off this year, a little inconsistent. So I gave it to Illinois, but Purdue pulled through at Illinois too and took the win 31-24. A little sad for me, although I could maybe even call myself a Purdue fan for no uncertain fucking reason, but I just like Purdue. I don't know what it is about them. I just like Purdue. And but I also like the fact that Illinois was doing good this year and that they were ranked. I like that a lot. But their fairy tale has come to an end. Looks like there's still potential for them to get a pretty good bowl game, but Purdue is going to kick them out of the top 25, probably for good. Indiana at Ohio State. I got Indiana's score right, but I didn't get Ohio State's score right. It's a little difficult sometimes to guess these high-scoring games. You can be right there or right, like, so far off. But, yeah, nothing much to be said here. We knew this was going to happen. Indiana sucks. It's at Ohio State. And Ohio State needed to kill Indiana. They needed to kill them because of how bad they played at Northwestern. And so they did. So they're going to maintain their number 2 spot in the top 25. Missouri at Tennessee. I was pretty dang spanking close to Missouri's score. 1 point off. But I was not close to Tennessee's score. It was looking pretty scary. It was like 24-35 at halftime or something like that. But Tennessee just turned on the Jets. 66 points, dude. That's pretty impressive. It's Missouri. You're also at home. You let Missouri score 24 points on you. But, dude, it's not every day you see a team score 66 points. That's 11 touchdowns. Now, it might not have been just 11 touchdowns, but that is the same. That's 11 touchdowns without extra points. So that's pretty impressive. Wait, why was Ohio State number 2? This is supposed to be number 5. I forgot to change that. Whoopsies. My bad. LSU at Arkansas. I gave Arkansas the upper hand on this one because it was at Arkansas. And, I felt like Arkansas is a little underrated. And did they upset almost? They almost did it. A very defensive game, and Arkansas, actually, their touchdown was a solid drive. But they just weren't really able to do anything other than that. They shut LSU's offense down. Like, Jaden Daniels couldn't get anywhere. Like, it was a really, really slow defensive game. But LSU remained on top. Tough game for LSU, but they pulled through. And I honestly, even though Arkansas is 5-4, it's probably going to look bad for LSU. I think this is a fantastic win for LSU because this was a difficult game, and I knew it. Notre Dame at Navy. I gave Navy this one, and oh boy, I was almost right. If I would have gotten that one right, that would have been crazy. But The score at half, I think, was 35-13. So Notre Dame really just shit the bed in the second half, allowed Navy to climb all the way back in, and almost tied at the end. They needed that onside kick, but Notre Dame was on top of it. No shot. And Notre Dame continues to prosper from starting off so terribly. Vanderbilt at Kentucky, a surprising game. When I made this prediction, I was going based off of the fact that Vanderbilt had been putting up points against other teams and whatnot. What I did not know is that Vanderbilt is a slowly recovering football program right now, and they actually have potential in the coming years. And this is a season that they also still have potential in. And I don't think that would have changed the fact. I think I would have gone with the score either way. And I got Vanderbilt's score right, but I did not get Kentucky's right. Vanderbilt managed to pull off the upset at Kentucky, a terrible loss for Kentucky, and a fantastic win for Vanderbilt. I was really, really surprised that Vanderbilt pulled it off. They've been so bad for so long. It is kind of crazy to see them even win an SEC game. Nebraska and Michigan. I gave Nebraska points on this one, and I guess I was wrong in doing so. 34. Oh, I forgot to change it. It's not 34-45. It's 34. It's 3-34. Just ignore what I'm saying. The final score is 3-34, not 45. Michigan. I mean, they dominated. Yes, 34 points is mid. I mean, yes, but also coming from a top 3 team, you're expected to kill. But nonetheless, they still shut Nebraska out. Expected. Alabama at Ole Miss. I gave this one to Ole Miss because I knew Alabama was going to play this game close. But I was like, dude, it's at Ole Miss. This is a major rivalry. Ole Miss is right up there, so it's going to be a big game. Ole Miss is one loss fighting for that spot, maybe even in the college football playoff. And they do have that loss against LSU, which sucks, but one loss, but they weren't able to pull it off. They were not able to pull it off. Despite having the lead the whole game pretty much, they were not able to pull it off. But this is just another flaming example that LSU might be a little bit overrated, and same with Tennessee. Alabama loves to just do this right now. They love to play teams very, very close. And I don't know whether it just means Alabama's a bad team or whether every other team is just a bad team. I don't really get it because remember, Texas A&M lost by 4 points to Alabama. Ole Miss lost by 6. Alabama lost by 3 points to Tennessee. They lost by 1 point in overtime to LSU. They've been playing teams down to the wire all season long. And I don't know whether we call them a top 10 team or not. They feel like a very weird team. I do like Bryce Young, though. I think he's really good. Louisville at Clemson. I gave Louisville the upper hand on this one just because I was hopping on that Clemson dumpster fire train because, they got clapped by Notre Dame. And I was really excited, and I was like, yeah, let's give this one to Louisville. But, I was kind of impressed by the way Clemson played. They really shut out Louisville, which looks good for them. Louisville has been playing better, and I honestly thought Louisville would bounce back and beat Clemson. But that ends today. A lot of people were saying that Louisville should be ranked over certain teams, but they are not. No longer will they be in the talk about being ranked. Clemson shut them out today. Nothing to be said here. Maryland at Penn State. Dude, I gave Maryland 28 on this one, man, and I gave it to Penn State because I was like, dude, Penn State's going to win. It's at home, but Maryland's a good team, but dude, they did not show up today. I don't know if there was any major injuries. Sorry for hitting my mic. I don't know what happened there. But Penn State, man. Penn State, we saw them get killed by Michigan. I was like, yeah, they're overrated. But then they played good against Ohio State. I was like, maybe they're not that bad. Now they're beating Maryland, a team that hung in there with Michigan, a team that has played very well this season for being Maryland. Penn State shut them out today. And yes, it was at Penn State. I think that's a good win. And Penn State should climb. They should climb up. Boston College, insane background change. I can't believe like how my brain shut down. When I made the prediction for this, I didn't even change the background or the score. So this prediction is off. Yeah. I don't agree with this score. Maybe that's because I know what the final score is. I agreed that NC State should score like 42 points, but I think Boston College would have scored like 14 or 17 in my prediction. But Boston College did it. They did it. They pulled off the upset I've been waiting for against NC State. I've been saying it in my videos and in the comments section of like multiple videos. NC State's overrated. And there's multiple reasons as to why they're overrated. There's also reasons to why they have there's also reasons to I don't know how to put this into a sentence, but there's reason that they are justifying why they are overrated. Because yeah, they've dealt with some injuries, they've dealt with some things, but nonetheless, man, Boston College beats NC State in a major victory for Boston College. It kind of puts Boston College in the same boat as ASU. Boston College is now 3-7, and that's the same record as ASU, and they got a major victory over a good team, or supposed to be a good team. Like ASU beat Washington, who was ranked at the time, and today, as most of you might know, did something crazy. But UCF at Tulane. I had UCF losing by 3 points, although I was kind of like maybe UCF could win, maybe they couldn't. I don't really know how this could go. I know UCF is good, but I just don't really know about Tulane, basing it off of the win against Kansas State. But UCF, man, they took this game home, and it's not like they didn't. It's not like it was a close one, really. I mean, UCF just allowed them to kind of get back into the game. I mean, it was 38-24 with 3 minutes, 32 seconds left. So they kind of beat them up, man. They kind of beat Tulane up. I was a little surprised, honestly. But UCF should climb, man. I am also a Knights fan, dude. When they were undefeated, I wanted them to go to the college football playoff, but that would never happen. So Georgia at Mississippi State. I gave this one to Mississippi State because, I thought Mississippi State, I watched them play this year, and there's just games where I'm like, what the hell? And then there's games where I'm like, hey, they might be pretty good. So I was like, I'll give this one to Mississippi State. Also, it being at Mississippi State, I'll give it to them. Well, Georgia pulled through. It wasn't this dominant the whole time. At the start or at the end of the half. At the end of the first half, it was 17-12, a very close score. They tried to get a 2-point conversion, failed it, and that is just epic. But from there on, it was pretty much just Georgia being good, and they just pretty much shut Mississippi State out. Yeah, I thought Mississippi State would be able to get something done. It was looking like they were, but Georgia has showed me that they can play on the road too. And Georgia is probably in this situation. Georgia's probably just them. They're probably going to win it all this year. I'm saying probably, but I'm almost 75% certain, maybe even 76% certain that Georgia is going to be our national championship winner for the second year in a row. Washington at Oregon. I gave this one to Oregon. Bo Nix, he's doing great. At Oregon, he has been doing great. But then there's Washington, man. They beat Oregon State in a tough game, came down to the wire. Michael Penix Jr. and the Washington offense is pretty good. And, now the difference about this is, yes, Washington upset Oregon. Bye-bye Oregon playoff opportunity. Insanely devastating. The talk around Oregon was getting crazy. But Bo Nix apparently was out for majority of this game, and Washington was barely able to walk away with this one. I'm just surprised that Washington won this. Washington's going to go up to like number 15 or something, and Oregon's probably going to go down to like number 10 or something because they're Oregon. But that just really sucks for Bo Nix and for the Ducks. You know, I'm a Duck hater. I'm also a Husky hater, but it is also nice to see a Pac-12 team go to the national championship or to the college football playoffs because, you know, we got to represent as a Power 5 conference, you know what I'm saying? Well, now Oregon is a 2-loss team who's probably going to be – well, actually, no. Now Washington is going to be going to it, huh? Washington's got 1 loss in the conference. It's to ASU. Or no, they have 2 losses in the conference. Who did they lose to? Let's see here. They lost to us. Oh, they lost to UCLA. That's right. Well, those are both South teams. So in terms of, you know, their competition right now. Oh, wait, isn't the Pac-12 now just a giant fucking conference? Now we're just a giant bunch of buddies. It's not the North and the South anymore. I don't know. We'll go if it's off the North and the South. These two teams are Pac-12 North teams. So these two teams, with Washington taking the victory, Washington's got the advantage over Oregon. And Washington's going to go to the Pac-12 championship against most likely UCLA unless they lose tonight. With that being said, there's still football games going on, but my impatience is killing me. So I'm making the video now. Kansas State at Baylor. Dude, I gave this one to Baylor, and oh boy, do I look stupid. Because Kansas State dropped. I was close to their score, but what the fuck, Baylor? At Baylor? Hello? I don't know what happened here, but somebody mind explaining because, like, I don't know, man. This Big 12 situation where teams just be getting killed out of nowhere. It's crazy. I don't know what is the cause of this. Like, teams just kill and get killed. It's so weird. TCU at Texas. I gave the upper hand to Texas, dude, but holy fuck does TCU have a defense. Like, TCU shut down Texas pretty much all game. Like, it was 17-3 at a point. I mean, it was a really defensive game. Texas also had a solid defense. But, dude, TCU, I was expecting TCU to basically need points to have a shootout here because they've had shootouts all year. But, dude, they really just they shut down with defense today. Like, they dominated Texas today. It doesn't look like it, but they did. They dominated. I was really surprised. And, dude, TCU is 10-0. Number 4, baby. That win over Texas, I think it should move them above Michigan because Michigan played the Cornhuskers? I don't know what I'm saying. Actually, is that what? I don't know, bro. I'm tweaking off the pert. But I think they should go up above Michigan because Michigan played Nebraska. And, you know, that's just, they killed them, but it's also not that impressive because if you're the top, like, it's not a big name. You see, TCU beat Texas, you know, like, Texas lost by 1 point to Alabama. Texas beat Kansas State. Like, you know, I think TCU should move up because of this. Dude, if TCU keeps playing the way they're playing, man, this would be the most insane turnaround for a football program. Me wishing I was a TCU fan right now because last year, they were like 5 wins or 3 wins or something like that. They were nobody. And now they're just fucking number 4 out of nowhere. They used to be good, and now they're good again. North Carolina at Wake Forest. I gave the upper hand to Wake Forest. I nailed North Carolina's points, but I was incorrect about Wake Forest. And honestly, just a solid game between the two. Only 1 turnover by Wake Forest. They're improving on that part of football. You know, not having 8 turnovers in one game helps a lot. But North Carolina, dude, this is a good win for North Carolina. It's a tough team, Wake Forest is. We know that. We know they struggled against Louisville with 8 turnovers. We know they struggled against North Carolina State. And they also lost in overtime to Clemson, who was undefeated and ranked number 4 at a time. So this is a solid victory for North Carolina, and they should keep climbing, man. They should keep climbing. Florida State at Syracuse. Florida State is starting to look like a fucking scary team. 27-18 was the score. I knew Florida State was going to win this game, but I gave Syracuse some points, and oh my God, was I wrong. Like, Florida State, dude, they're turning their football around right now. They just killed Miami, and now they just killed Syracuse. Like, they look scary. Whoever goes up in a bowl game against this team better be goddamn ready, because Florida State's not playing light football anymore. Stanford at Utah, this game's still going on, so this is my prediction. Let me pull up ESPN real quick so I can just update the score. You know, I didn't really want to wait. Right now it's 7-21 in the third quarter for and Utah leads, so, you know, could be going in that direction. Could be going in my predictions direction, but nonetheless, Utah leads. That's about that. Arizona at UCLA. I have UCLA barely winning by 8 points at home. I know Arizona and their offense and UCLA and their offense, but right now it is 21-14. Arizona leads at halftime. So this prediction could be going in that path. It could be flip-flopped. Who knows? But what I have learned about this Arizona team, and yes, this could be bias speaking, that Arizona loves to just run around and let their receivers run all over the field and create some stuff. That's the thing about this Arizona team. And everybody says their offense is really good when really I'm watching them play, and De Laura, their quarterback, really just keeps scrambling out of the pocket, running around, and he just messes up. But that is it for my week 11 predictions. And, yeah, adios.